Apparently this silver, or I mean aluminum, is a buffable paint. That's why I was having issues. One of my YouTube friends, Jeff Donahue, go check out his channel, kind of let me know that this was buffable metallic. And yeah, that makes sense, I guess. That's why it's so powdery. I'm gonna give this a buff, and then I'm gonna clear coat it. You can see right there, it just comes right off like powder. Okay, live and learn. I did not know that. It doesn't really say anything on the jar that I can read. Anyway, there we go. Pretty nice. So I'm hoping to accomplish quite a bit today. I've been in the editing bay a lot lately, so I haven't been able to get to this. But I think I've solved the problem with these seat belts. I was having issues with those because they just wouldn't go where I wanted them to go until I was able to drill a little bit deeper into the plastic. As you can see, now they sit where they sit. Now I gotta figure out, do I want to paint them before I put them in, or do I install them and then do that? Because if I paint them before I glue them on, it may flake all off. But then again, maybe I can touch up what flakes off. Or I could just paint these under the microscope. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna glue them in, and then I'll paint them under the microscope. I think that's the best way to go. All right, I'm trying something out here. Look at that. That paint just comes right off. Oh well. I notice here there's some witness marks from the mold here that I didn't notice before, but now I do. So that's cleaned up, and now I'm gonna have to strip this, I guess. So that's what you can see why some people say don't prime, but look at it, just comes right off. All right. So I'm gonna use some floor wax stripper on this, and I'll be right back. All right, well, I can see I'm gonna have to do some touch-ups. I've got to bend this part over, because that's like the belt loop. So what I'm gonna do, I'm going to use some CA glue. Where is that? Got some CA. This thing I'm gonna use. Some wire. You can burn off the old glue. I'm thinking I might, yeah, let's do that. I think I'm gonna strip this one too. I'm not liking the way this leather looks, to be honest. Now, what you are seeing is not necessarily the way I would suggest you do it. I'm kind of making up as I go along here, and if I were to do it again, it would be a lot smoother, because, you know, I'm learning as I go what may be the best process here. Let's bring out the magical, where's the magical fiberglass pen? Let's clean that up. Yeah, I'm not happy how this is looking. So that's the beauty of the system, is you can redo things. I'm liking how those seat belts are positioned in there now, though. All right, well, I'm going to strip these out as well, because I may as well work with raw plastic when I'm putting in these seat belts. It's amazing what you can see under the microscope as compared to when you're just looking at it one-to-one. Wow. Okay, I think I'm going to use some alcohol. Alcohol. All right, well, I'm not going to bore you by doing all the chairs like this, but this is what I'm doing. And then I guess I'll prime these out. But first, I'm going to put the seat belts in. And this one, it's actually got some nice inserts. You can see here. This one actually has good points where you could stick the seat belt in, so that's good. Okay, these are all stripped bare. All right, let's work on this one. Let's dig out the instruction sheet, because these seat belts are handed. I'll just flash it up on the screen. Step 13. So there's an A and a B. It's so easy to lose this stuff. I gotta get this glued in before too late. I am going to anneal this stuff. Hopefully that'll make it bendable. I have, when annealing, burnt this stuff, so you have to be careful. Oh, that's so much easier when there's actually a good place to stick it. Yeah. So I'm happy now again. Yeah, I almost burnt that one right up. You can see. Oh, shit. Ah, look at that. Oh, well. So just be careful you don't overheat it, because you can wreck it. It's not impervious. All right, so I think I'm going to use a Tamiya primer because it's got really fine pigment. All right, I'm gonna have to, I forgot, I gotta anneal it. This time I'm gonna be a little bit more careful. I'm gonna do it all off camera so that I can control it better. going to fill in the back end here.
And now for something completely different.
Paint that light gray. These are going to stay the aluminum color or silver color. There's going to be some rust colors, stuff like that. So now this is what I use to prime the chairs with. I'll be going back into them. And then the metallics that I've used, I use this Tamiya silver lacquer base, for which I painted the back of these seats as well as the engine. And before I did the silver, I used this one. And then to clear coat the other metallic and also the cabin, so I can do some washes later, oil-based washes, I use this as a clear coat. there's a little bit of flash that you have to clean up, but you know, that's part of model building. I'm gonna go paint this the same color I painted the engine, XF55. That's what it asked for. So that's what I'm gonna do. So I've decided to change my color, and I'm going to use this chocolate color. Oh, what a relief. That's one. Now I still got to paint the seat belts on this, but at least we're making some progress. All right, I'm gonna use this. And even though I don't like using Tamiya for brushwork, this is just such a small amount. I don't think I have to worry about it. Okay, so I gotta paint a little steel. I'm gonna use this one from Extreme Metal. Oh, yes, finally I can move forward with the fuselage, all that finicky painting. All right, we'll place this in there for now anyway. So while that's setting up, I'm going to work on this. So this has all been painted. I painted whatever this is, black, but I'm going to use this brush, which I've been using to buff this up. I'm just going to dry brush that to bring out some of the detail. Thusly. So check out this beautiful, huge decal sheet. And I need to get some of these things going. Let's see, we've got B. There's two of those. We've got E. D. C. F. So I've decided I'm going to give this thing, see if I can give it a nice shine. This doesn't seem to be so shiny. All right, that looks really cool now. I think I'm happy with that. Oh, shoot, of course. Okay, of course. All right. One thing, I wish they'd put the decal for the cockpit the right side around. Like you have to look at it upside down, and then they should have done a proper up and down drawing. Oh well, I'll survive. Mm-mm. This one was kind of dirty anyway, so that's kind of good that that happened. Some of these decals are pretty small. This G one, for example, and the F one. Crazy. Fortunately, they give me an extra one. Oh, that's really ugly. I'll thin it out. I'm going to make a wash, and it's going to be a water-based wash. Some of you may have heard it. Some people refer to it as a magic wash, but there's a bit of fuchsia, a bit of water. I'm just eyeballing it. I don't have any exact measurements. And a bit of water-based paint. And then you mix it up. So let's test this out. That is the engine deck, so it could be maybe a little bit darker, eh? Yeah, this is like weird design here, eh? The way the floor goes. So I'm going to depart from the instructions.
I suspect all this paint is going to flake off.
In the years following the First World War, aviation was poised to make an extraordinary leap. Among the innovations that emerged during this era, none stood as bold or as transformative as the Junkers F13. Introduced in 1919, it was a revolutionary aircraft, the world's first all-metal, low-wing monoplane designed specifically for passenger transport. Its streamlined shape and corrugated duralumin skin reflected not only a new vision for aviation, but also the dawn of an industry destined to shrink the globe. Let us step inside this marvel of early engineering, where the heart of its innovation truly lies, the interior. The Junkers 13 wasn't merely about getting passengers from one point to another. It was about reimagining what air travel could be. Unlike the open-air cockpits of earlier designs, the F-13 offered an enclosed and heated passenger cabin, a concept almost unthinkable during the early years of aviation. This cabin accommodated up to 4 passengers, an intimate yet groundbreaking arrangement for the time. The seats were carefully designed, not just for function but for comfort, a rare luxury in the roaring skies of the 1920s. They were upholstered in durable materials and padded for a smoother experience. For safety, each seat was equipped with seat belts, a feature considered ahead of its time. The windows placed along both sides of the fuselage weren't merely structural elements, they gave passengers the first real opportunity to marvel at the sprawling landscapes below. This small touch of luxury, being able to gaze at the world from above, transformed air travel from novelty to an experience of wonder. While passengers enjoyed the warmth and shelter of the cabin, the pilot's cockpit remained semi-enclosed, a nod to the traditional nature of aviation design during this period. The cockpit featured a roof for partial protection, but the front, where the windscreen would normally be today, it was exposed to the elements. This arrangement might seem primitive by today's standards, but at the time it provided pilots with an unmatched sense of connection to the machine and the skies around them. The cockpit itself was straightforward and purposeful. The pilot's seat was sturdy and functional, built to withstand the challenges of long flights. The controls were laid out in a clean and efficient manner, with levers and pedals placed intuitively to allow the pilot to focus on the intricacies of flying. Despite its simplicity, this cockpit represented the cutting edge of aviation ergonomics in the early 20th century. In front of the pilot, the instrument panel showcased the essential gauges needed to navigate the skies. Here, the F-13 offered something extraordinary for its era: a relatively advanced array of instruments. Altimeters, airspeed indicators, and engine monitoring gauges provided critical information, allowing the pilot to maintain safe and efficient control. These were the tools that transformed flying from an art to a science. While the panel lacked the sophistication of modern avionics, it was groundbreaking for its time. The clean layout and intuitive design made it easier for pilots to interpret data, a crucial element in a world where flight paths were charted by instinct and observation rather than GPS. Integration of the passenger and pilot areas in the Junkers F-13 was a marvel of engineering. The use of duralumin, a lightweight yet sturdy aluminum alloy, allowed the aircraft to combine structural strength with aerodynamic efficiency. The interior was not merely functional but forward-thinking, creating an environment that bridged the gap between practicality and comfort. This aircraft wasn't just a machine, it was a statement. It represented a new era where air travel could be elegant, safe, and accessible. By enclosing passengers in comfort and equipping pilots with the tools they needed to navigate increasingly ambitious routes, the Junkers F-13 became a pioneer in shaping the aviation history. The F-13's innovations rippled through time. Its emphasis on passenger comfort, enclosed cabins, and durable all-metal construction became benchmarks for the commercial aircraft of the future. With every flight, it pushed the boundaries of what was possible in aviation and opened a window to a world where the skies belong to humanity. From its padded seats to its corrugated skin, every element of the Junkers 13 tells a story. Not just a machine, but a dream. A dream that took flight in 1919 and soared into history, forever changing how we see and experience the world.
Before I put it together. But then I'd have other issues like paint flaking off, etc.
For the next part, as we continue to bring the Junkers F13 to life, In the meantime, and in between time, that's another edition of Jet Scale Models. Y'all come back now, you hear?